That was actually one of my biggest fears when I thought about switching over and doing Medicare that I talked to Ty about. They're going to look at me and say, why are you telling me about Medicare? You're 40 years away from Medicare, right? Yeah. And so I actually sometimes will joke about it. I'll say, hey, I'm a young guy, Lord willing, I'm going to be here for a while. You don't have to ever have another Medicare agent. So nice. I'll tease people and say that. And I honestly, I was worried about that, but I've never had an issue with that. I don't think it's as big of a deal as some people think, especially if you're well-informed, you know what you're talking about, you're confident. I don't think anybody has any issues with that, really.
Welcome back to the Medicare Sales Playbook. I am your host, Dallas Keithley. Here at the Medicare Sales Playbook, we are helping you expand your Medicare business one play at a time. Appreciate you guys joining us. We have a great episode for you today, but before we get to it, I want to remind you, please like, subscribe, do all the stuff that all the cool kids are doing, and be sure and tell your friends about us, man. This has been a great time. We've had fun doing these episodes, and we're getting a lot of value. I've learned a lot. I've been in this business 22 years. I've learned a lot from all of our guests, but I want to jump right to our guest today. With me today, we have a young man, Sid James from the Sid James Agency. Guys, this guy is somebody that is an up-and-comer. I hate the word potential because potential just means that you might do something in the future. You're doing stuff now, and Absolutely. That's cool. So welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you having you on.
Appreciate it. It's good to be here. Nice to meet you guys, and hopefully we got a good episode for you.
So. Yeah. We've now I've known you quite a while, right? We had Ty James on another episode, and so you're his brother, right?
Yep.
And I won't go into who's the better of the two at what or whatever. I have my opinion, right. And I won't tell him that. But no, you grew up watching Ty, right?
Absolutely, yep.
And so you were influenced from the beginning to get into the insurance world. Let's back up, though. Right now, let's talk about what you're doing. So you're in Seymour, Missouri. Just opened your first office.
Yep, back in November 23. Yep.
Yeah, and got what'd you say? 4 people in the office now.
Yep, 4 people in the office, customer service, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, which you are trying to do. I'm going to say trying. You are doing the whole gamut, right? You're doing P&C, life, Medicare, health. Have expanded into the annuity market.
Right. Yeah, we've tried to become just the all-in-one stop shop, right? You know, the more policies you have on a client, the little easier it is to keep the retention there. So that was the big goal with opening up an office, was being able to do it all. So yeah, that's been huge.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What was it? Because sometimes family members of insurance agents, they're the hardest ones to get in because they see it. What was it that you're like, you know what? I think I can do this. I want to do this.
Right. Yeah. No, so I never had like you said, family members are hard to get in. Never really had no big motivation to do insurance.
Yeah.
Growing up watching Ty, seeing what he did, made good money, helped a lot of people. So I was always kind of intrigued by it. Never really it was going to be what I was going to do. But no, I played college basketball, decided to step away from that due to some injuries, and Ty kind of talked me into getting into it. And just starting out, just the people, the clients, and helping people and truly seeing what we were doing, just kind of like, well, shoot, I can do this, right? And that's kind of what just gave me that motivation to help a lot of people. And then obviously the money's good, right? So that was the biggest reason to kind of told me, hey, I can do this. It's not that hard. So.
Yeah. Now, you lead with Medicare, I'd say is your biggest lead. Why do you lead with Medicare, and then how do you transition out of that?
So I lead with Medicare mainly just because to me it comes easy. It's what I started with. Again, going back to my brother, he's been doing Medicare for 12 years, probably something like that. So that's why I start out with it. Truth be told, too, I like working with older people. I just kind of have a niche with them. And then cross-selling, getting into the other products, to me kind of comes pretty easy just because a lot of people need a lot of help in other areas than just Medicare. So I think the biggest thing is just bringing up the conversation. Do you have life insurance place or retirement and annuities and things like that? Or, now that we have the home and auto we offer, there's just a lot of ways to lead with that they need a lot of help on, and, we're there for it. So.
Yeah. You are, how old are you?
24.
Yeah. 24 years old. 24. What am I doing with my life right now? 24 years old. And let's talk about some numbers because a lot of people, I don't know if you've noticed this, in the insurance industry, there are people that may fudge a little bit, like they're fake it till they make it kind of thing. You're actually writing some business Talk about last year and what are your aspirations for this year as far as numbers?
Yeah. So last year went really well. We had a lot of good numbers. I think we did around 200 some Medicare policies. Probably could have wrote more, built a team, stuff like that, moving into a new office, which I did during AEP. Did not recommend doing that at all. Yeah. But yeah, this year, looking to kind of just double everything we did last year. We did about 200 policies, I think, last year. So this year we're shooting for about 400. Wow. Doing it all, though, trying to add some more team members. So yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we're going to get to adding some team members here in just a second. So you said you like dealing in Medicare. You enjoy that. You like dealing with older people. Do you get the objection that you're 24?
Yeah.
Why in the world? Here I am. I'm 65. I'm not. But I'm 65. And why should I listen to a 24-year-old when it comes to my health insurance?
Right.
And then annuities and all this stuff. How do you overcome that? Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, so I actually don't. So that was actually one of my biggest fears when I thought about switching over and doing Medicare that I talked to Ty about. I was like, people are, like you just said, they're going to look at me and say, why are you telling me about Medicare? You're 40 years away from Medicare, right? Yeah. So I was worried about that starting out. But one thing I picked up, and I've talked about this before, and I tell younger agents that I'm talking to all the time, is it's kind of like your doctor, right? If, like my grandpa, his doctor retired. Now he doesn't have his doctor no more, right? People like to have a younger doctor. And so I actually sometimes will joke about it. I'll say, hey, I'm a young guy, Lord willing, I'm going to be here for a while. You don't have to ever have another Medicare agent. So nice. I'll tease people and say that. And I honestly, I was worried about that, but I've never had an issue with that. I don't think it's as big of a deal as some people think, especially if you're well-informed, you know what you're talking about, you're confident. I don't think anybody has any issues with that, really. So
wow. So a couple things I want to touch on there because I think we brushed over, and I don't want to. A lot of the time, the excuses that we allow ourselves to hold us back, the excuses that hold us back, are ones that we create.
Right.
And sometimes they're valid, right? But other times it's more what you create and you allow yourself to be afraid of. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Then something else you said, in order to overcome that. You said two things: be informed, and be confident. How are you? What do you do to stay informed when it comes to Medicare and stuff like that?
Yeah. So every year with Medicare, there's a lot of changes. So one, having an assistant helps out a lot with that. They help get all the new plan updates or changes with carriers that we work with back and forth on every year. So we stay well informed on all that. Just checking every day, looking through, scrolling stuff with carriers, email you stuff. So staying informed, and then, like I said, just being confident with the client and, being well-rounded and knowing your stuff helps a lot.
And those go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I walk into a meeting and I'm well-informed, that confidence is going to follow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there's work to it and stuff like that. Okay, now what I want to get to with you, the big thing, because what impresses me most, like there's other 24-year-olds out there that are writing Medicare. Maybe not at the same level or anything like that. But I don't see too many 24-year-olds out there that are building a business. You started, how long you been in the industry now?
Going on 4 years.
4 years,
Yeah,
okay.
4 years.
You came through the LOA program.
Correct.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that, your LOA program, and how that affected you and why you did the LOA program.
Yeah, so I did the LOA program, again, coming out of college, getting into Medicare and getting into insurance. You don't have a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. So getting into the LOA program, fortunately, I had a great upline that gave me some marketing dollars every month to start in that. So that was a big kicker there, was getting marketing money so I wasn't forking up money myself. Okay. To buy leads or do events, things like that. So that was the big reason with getting into that. And then I think that, honestly, that's helped me a lot because it before I just went out and tried to build a business, I actually got to be in a program where I learned the business, got money, could sell. So all I really had to worry about was going out and doing production, right? So that helped me a lot to where now I know the game, and now it helps, building my own business now and brand. So
okay. So and for those of you at home that aren't familiar with the LOA program just simply means that he was a licensed only agent under a different under an upline. Yep. They paid some marketing money to you. If you watch our episode with Ty James, he explains it real well. Paid you some marketing money, but then they own the business and they split the commission with you. Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So then you graduate out of that. Okay. Then you decide to start your own business. I love one thing you said, though. You said, I got to watch a business.
Right.
And so talk about the things that you saw There may have been some things that you really liked. There may have been were there things that you were like, you know what? In my business, I'm going to do this a little different.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Just having some mentors like Ty James, Brian Askins, just seeing how they ran things, ran an office, ran employees, how they treated clients. I worked in an office where Ty James is at, and they have several clients there that I got to see how he worked hand in hand with his clients. Just the little things they did for customer service with their clients that I picked up on and started right away with my people. Working in that business, just seeing how they did that, how they managed things, that helped a lot. So that was a key thing. To be honest with you, as far as like seeing things not to do, I blessed with some great people above me. There's not a lot of things I feel like they do wrong. So not a lot of things really not add. I added quite a bit, but definitely I would say you still got to have anything that's your own to be successful. You still got to have your own spin and your own personality to it. So stuff like that I did. But no, not a lot of things that really not added a lot of it. So
I gave you an opportunity there to put Ty down, and I'm a little disappointed at being your brother. You didn't jump. No, I'm just kidding. And one thing we're seeing a constant theme, and it's not even on purpose. People that are successful have great mentors. Right.
Yeah.
How much do you still talk to your mentors how often do you talk to them?
Every day, really.
Yeah.
My brother's my mentor and a couple other people. So, talk to him every day, for sure, a couple times a week, getting with people, asking advice or opinions, things like that. So.
And give you somebody to blame as well.
Yeah, someone to blame. Absolutely.
No. Okay. So let's go through the steps of now you're building a business. So first off, I think it's very important is you learn the business yourself, right? You get a lot of, and I'm not being negative about any upline, FMO, IMO, LMNOP, whatever. A lot of people are like, come in, recruit. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know your feelings on it.
I'm going on 4 years. I didn't start recruiting until my third year. So I took some time there because I feel like it's hard to lead people if you haven't done it first.
Yeah.
I'm a big lead by example person, just sports background, things like that, being a leader on a team. So I wanted to have my foot in place and learn the business and learn stuff before I brought others in and then try to tell them what to do, right? Different approach. I know some people, like you said, you get out and you go and you recruit. You can be successful doing that, but it's all in how you want to do it yourself,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then, so you've learned the business, you're ready to go. What are you looking for? Like, is it if they can fog a mirror, you want to become an insurance agent on your team? Or what are you looking for in people when you start looking for agents? Yeah.
So that was something when we decided to recruit and build a team. A lot of people, I think they get kind of trigger happy and they're looking for anybody. Even having no people, we still kind of qualified people. I think they got to be like-minded. They got to have, I'm looking for, ambitious people. Just being a younger guy, I've recruited a lot more, younger people, which has been awesome. So just like-minded people. I like someone that has, a will or a purpose to do something. We talk a lot about finding, a why. And if you can find your why, then, you're going to be able to kind of normally reach your results because you have a reason to get there. So, definitely looking for ambitious people really is the main thing, and someone who's not afraid to get down and work. So.
Yeah. What are some questions that you're asking people? Like, let's say I introduce you to an agent today and I say, hey, I think you guys may be a good fit. Yeah. What are some questions that you're asking them and trying to find out if they are really that person?
I think the biggest thing is what's your why and what do you want to do with this, this business? What do you see for yourself, 10 years from now, 5 years from now? Are you just wanting to come in and make a lot of money and leave? Are you wanting to make it a career? So I think that's a few of the main questions, just seeing what their goals are and what they want. And then after that, it's really just kind of making sure we align and have the same vision, or making sure, one, that I can help them get to where they want to go. Because I'll be honest with you, if I can't help you get to where you want to go, then why should you be under me? It's not only going to hurt me, but it's going to hurt them as well. So just simple stuff like that, just making sure we kind of align on stuff. So
yeah. So tell me, when you get somebody in, I'm assuming, let me just ask, who is your biggest producer in your agency?
Myself right now. But then I have a couple people that do some life insurance that are doing really well right now.
Yeah.
So
okay. So how do you, because you've got to pay the bills, right? You just got a bunch of bills. You just open an office, stuff like that. How do you then split your time to make sure you're still producing, but then you're also making sure they're doing okay and you're training them, stuff like that? What's the method
So I would say my big thing to that is why we're here talking about Medicare. And the biggest reason too, I guess I could touch back on, you talked about why I got into Medicare. So Medicare, a big reason for that is with Medicare, as some of you may or may not know, you get a renewal, right?
Right.
So for me, being 3 years in, now that I've built up a book of business, I can set every year on that renewal. Now I have that freedom and extra time to where I don't have to necessarily go out. I'm still the biggest producer, but I don't really have to go out.
Yeah, you're not going to shut the doors if you don't.
Every day, if I don't produce every day. And that's what the blessing of Medicare is. You get that renewal, then that frees my time up to where now I can have employees to help run customer service. I can have people to help set appointments. And then in reality, I can spend my time, if I'm talking to a client, I'm selling, or I can spend my other half of the time trying to recruit or help agents build and knock out what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So.
Are you running appointments with agents, especially in the beginning, stuff like that?
Yeah, at the start for sure. I've done that. I do a lot of Medicare seminars, so I'll have agents come watch me do Medicare seminars. But yeah, definitely, there's always, especially if you're dealing with a newer agent that's never sold before, teaching them how to sell, letting them stay along or ride along is pretty huge, I think. So.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you, so like I'm assuming if I'm a brand new agent, right, I go out with you, you're presenting the entire time. How do you slowly morph it to where now they're presenting and you're watching them work and make sure all that?
I think it takes just a couple reps listening to them, role playing a little bit. A lot of times I'll have them kind of do the presentation and then maybe I'm on the back end running the computer stuff or something I've found pretty beneficial for me is I'm a hands-on guy. I got to kind of do it myself or be the one on the computer doing stuff. So what I've done before too is let them run the computer. Like if we're doing a one-on-one meeting, I'll do the presentation, let them run the computer, and I'm walking through, them doing the application. And because once you figure out that part, the rest is just talking and helping someone out and solving a problem. So you can get that part a little easier. So it's mainly learning all the carriers and how to work it. So I'll stick them doing that. I'll do the presentation, and then you do that 2 or 3 times. It's pretty easy to pick up.
Is it hard to give the reins over, right? Like I used to train people, and man, I'm a guy where I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to blow it. They're going to blow it. They're going to blow it. And then,
Yeah, it is. It's hard to just dump it to them, or sometimes you're setting in, they may say something like, oh, I wouldn't have said that, or went a little different route. But I think it just comes with growing and building a team and teaching people. You got to teach people and duplicate people to do what you do to get somewhere bigger. So I think that's a lot of it. Is just you got to sometimes just not worry about it and let it go.
Yeah.
So and sometimes it's all right for them to mess up and maybe not get the sell too. I feel like it might be tough, but let them mess up, not get the sell, and they'll come back better and learn from it. So
I truly believe that Michael Jordan wouldn't be Michael Jordan if he didn't get kicked off his middle school basketball team. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's that. Yeah. And,
absolutely.
So take me through now. You're training your agents throughout the week and stuff like that. How often are you meeting with them? Do you guys have a big meeting every week where all your agents are there and then you're meeting one-on-one? How does that work for you?
Absolutely. So meeting with your people, especially in a group setting or one-on-one, is pretty huge. So we do a weekly team call ourselves with just our team. And then we hop on our upline teams, team call every week. So we're having at least 2 team calls a week on that. Sometimes we'll do a third call if we need to on specific training or stuff like that. But for me, it's just reaching out. I get about 10 agents now, 12 agents, and I talk to them. I mean, they could tell you, I talk to all of them about every day, every other day, whether it's a text message or say, hey, a quick text says, let's go today, let's get some sales, let's get up. Just something quick. I'm normally trying to reach out every day. So
yeah, nice.
But
because you're going to have agents that lean in, that are all in, all that, all the time. You're going to have agents that aren't. Do you divvy your time up based on that, or are you just helping everybody equally?
I'm going to help everyone equally, but obviously if someone's a go-getter and they're a little more on their, their own and trying to do it themselves a little bit, or maybe, they don't want to ask for help, that's fine too. I mean, at the end of the day, it helps me out. It gives me some more time.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to manage and see how things are going for them and check in. But I mean, that helps out a lot when you have people. And that goes back to why we qualify people. And I'm not just out there recruiting anybody off the street, is because I want people like that are go-getters that want it. Yeah. You're never going to find someone that wants it as bad as you want it, but someone that's close is perfect.
Yeah, I remember I coached some high school basketball. I had a kid on there that had more talent than I ever dreamed of having, but I always wanted it more than him. Right. And that was one of the most frustrating things in my life.
Oh yeah.
I was in the gym before him, and I'm like, dude, I'm 32 years old or whatever at the time. Have you had anybody fail yet?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some people that they start out struggling. It's hard, especially if you're new. So we've had a few struggle that are brand new to the insurance game. It's just hard to recruit some people that when you're leaving making money, going to commissions only. I don't
Yeah.
have an LOA program myself or nothing like that yet, which is something we're working on. It can be hard, it can be a struggle. So definitely have had a few here and there.
Yeah.
So
I think to me, that's the harder part, right? To me, because you're like, again, like you said, you see the potential in them, but they don't.
Yeah.
How do you handle almost the disappointment? Because it almost feels like anytime I have somebody fail, I'm like, gosh, if I would have done this or if I would have done this, right? How do you handle that and overcome it and not let it affect the rest of your team?
Right. There's a lot of ways. I think one is just moving on, staying confident in yourself still that you helped out. I mean, I think at the end of the day, if you did what was right for the agent, just like if you did what was right for the client, they're going to stick. It's going to help. Or if they don't stick, as long as you have that peace of mind at the end of the day, hey, I reached out, did everything that I could. For me, I may be able to move on a little easier than some people because I know where I want to go. And if I stay on the past of people that didn't get to where I wanted them to go, and to say that too, like they got to want to get there too, not where I want them to go.
Where I wanted them to go, they didn't get it.
And so I think sometimes it's, Cody Askin says it a lot, sometimes you got to fire people faster than you hired them, or recruit people and let them go faster than you brought them in, per se. And then just move on and keep growing towards your goals. So.
Yeah, 100%. I think, to me, I think the thing that can kill an agency faster than anything, you can have 15 amazing agents. You get that one little bit of negative in.
Right.
You get that, and boy, that can really kill it.
Absolutely,
So
for sure.
I love that. How are you keeping your team encouraged? How do you keep them positive? So, you guys, how do you do that?
Again, just reaching out to them. Like I said, I pretty much text most of them every day. Hey, let's go. Let's get up. Let's get something done today. And I don't think a lot of them, I don't have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of them, like I said, we're looking for motivated people. They do it themselves, but just trying to reach out, keep them motivated. Like I said, having our team calls, just different things like that. So
nice. One thing that I love that you've done in your office, you have different people that do different areas. Right. Like, you got Savannah Shipman. She's killing it in the final expense. Her and Skylar and those guys in Chicago. And then you got the Medicare division, you got the PNC division. How important is that to you don't have to be everything.
Right.
You can let other people start and talk about how now, like Savannah, you and I were talking before the show, she's starting to branch out and you're allowing her to lead. How do you do that?
Just let them have confidence in themselves. But it is back to what you said though, like why it's huge to have that and have those people in place. Cause again, if I can delegate that time to somebody else, when I actually first started out, which we kind of skipped over a little bit, I actually did PNC for about 10 months. And didn't, not that I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't my niche. So that's why I switched
you can
over.
say it. It's awful.
Yeah.
This is a Medicare show.
Right. Yeah. It's awful. So I switched over to Medicare and the life side. And, but now I have someone in my office that does that still. I had a passion for it. So I want to help people there. There's a lot of ways we can cross sell those people. If we can get their home and auto, we can look at their life now or their Medicare or their health. So it's huge to have those people, not only for referrals, cross selling, but also just to delegate that time to other people to free up my time to where I'm, when I'm coming to the office, I'm talking to people that I'm making a sell to, or I'm, on the phone recruiting and doing what Brian Askins always says, when you're in the office, you're doing money generating hours, right? Not sitting in and scrolling through 100 emails or messing with stuff. So I try to find people to take that away from me. Like I said, I'm 24. Most people, when they're new to Medicare, they try to keep all the money for themselves. They don't hire anybody. Right. My biggest thing was I know where I want to go. And my big thing was getting people in as fast as I could to help to get there. So I have my own customer service person. I have Alexis, who's my sister, who's actually here today, doing some behind the scenes social media stuff and pictures. And she's not a photographer, right? Yeah. And so she's kind of my crossbreed person. Does a little bit of everything. But just finding people to help take stuff off your plate is huge with that.
And one thing you said I love, hire.
Right.
When did you hire your first one? Let me ask you, let's look at it this way. Was it a money level? You're like, okay, when I get to this much money, or was it this many clients, or when did you decide, okay, it's time to hire somebody?
So for me, being an LOA, we actually did have some access to a couple people that worked in the office that were customer service people and just managers around the office. So that helped out a lot. But I actually had an assistant before I ever even got out of the LOA program.
Okay.
I was trying to build quicker. So for me, it wasn't necessarily like a certain client amount or a dollar amount, because I knew that if I could bring someone in, it didn't matter what the dollar or what I was paying them. They were going to take enough time off my plate that I would be able to afford them. and be able to make more money, have more hours to sell, and make money to afford them. So for me, it was more just as soon as I felt like I was basically losing money because I was doing stuff that wasn't making money. Was kind of the time for me. It's like, all right, I got to go get somebody.
I have agents call me all the time and they're like, Dallas, when should I hire someone?
Right.
My answer has always been, look at what you would have them do. So determine how much you got to pay them. So if you're paying an assistant $500 a week, that's one Medicare sale.
Right. Yeah.
Would they do enough to take enough off your plate that you could sell one policy?
Oh yeah.
If the answer is yes, it's time to hire somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And pay for them.
More than often, they're going to help you sell more than
one
extra policy a week. Right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, one of my, Alexa, speaking of her, she does a lot of calling from a Medicare seminars. And I mean, she normally has 5 to 8 appointments booked every week from a seminar. So that's time that I'm not sitting there, 10 hours a week, maybe 12 hours a week doing that. It's just already there. I show up and make the sell.
Yeah, and from a staff standpoint, for me, one thing that I've always looked at is it's a lot easier to hire somebody. If you see, okay, we're starting to grow, it's a lot easier to hire somebody now and help manage that growth than get down and behind and just don't know what you're going to do, and then you hire somebody. Right. Yeah. Then you got to train them, and you're still behind it. So it's just, I love that hiring forward.
And they're kind of growing with your book of business too. When you hire early, and your clients are knowing who they are, they're meeting them, because that was always one of the biggest things when I first hired somebody or thought about it was like, are my clients not going to like it because they're not talking to me now, right? Mm-hmm. So if you hire early too, that helps out with that. I've noticed.
Yeah. You're not disappearing from your clients. Yeah, I love that. You guys are killing it on social media. Like on purpose.
Yeah, trying to.
I see it. I saw some nice pictures of you guys this morning. You guys are putting out there Sid James Agency. The office looks amazing. I got to get out there and see it. Talk to me about how are you, I know you're a schedule guy. How many posts are you guys making every week, and what is the purpose of the post? What are you wanting to get out there?
So we just want to get content out, any content, whether it's recruiting related, insurance related, Medicare, any type of vertical of insurance. The goal is just to push the brand, push any content out there. We're probably doing, I think, between, if you counted all of them as separate, I mean, between Instagram, Facebook, we're doing some TikTok stuff, YouTube, we're getting into a little bit more. 10 to 15 posts a week, probably. Wow. Alexis, again, that's great to have an assistant for this stuff. She schedules a lot of it out too. So it's like she'll make stuff this week that's scheduled to post, next week. Yeah. Or if she's traveling, getting it all scheduled and ready to go. So yeah, we're probably doing 10 to 15 is what we try to do between all platforms. We focus on Facebook right now with our personal clients quite a bit. And we're always too, like when I'm making a sell or talking to people, I mean, don't be afraid to ask, hey, go like our Facebook page, keep up with us. Yeah. And more than not, clients
you take pictures with them too.
Yeah, clients love that. I'll take a picture of somebody and throw it up on there. Clients love that. I had a client here, just speaking of that, about a week and a half ago. He gifted me a wood hammer he made.
I saw
he does a lot of woodworking, and we took a picture and posted it. I think that was our most viewed post we've had in a month.
Wow.
Right. So people like that stuff. So don't be afraid to ask. They don't care. Clients, I think it makes them feel a little special too that you want to do that.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and you're a good looking kid, man. Like if Facebook calls him and says, hey, we need you to post.
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And single. I'm just, no. Man, I appreciate you being here. Where can they find Sid James?
Yeah. So again, all platforms, everything's pretty much under either my name, Sid James 23, or 23 is the year I started my agency, or Sid James Agency.
See, I thought it was a Jordan thing.
No, so actually,
and not even a LeBron thing. So we don't mention LeBron.
Yeah, so this wasn't planned real quick. So yeah, my basketball number growing up, it was because of LeBron. Okay. I like Jordan too, but speaking of North Carolina, but it was always 23. It was actually pretty cool. I didn't even plan this, but last year was 2023 when I started my agency. So it's pretty cool. So it all numbers work out in a weird way.
All worked out. Yeah, it always does, man. Well, this has been awesome. What are the goals? 5 years. Where do you see yourself?
Hopefully shooting for about at least 300 agents. I don't know, 5 years, like 2,000 Medicare clients maybe. So some pretty lofty goals, but we'll get there.
I like it. Yeah. No, you're on your way. Yeah. I mean, if you're 200 last year, 400 this year, that's I think you're shooting low.
We'll get there. So
I think you're shooting low. Yeah. So, well, guys, reach out to Sid James. It takes great people to do great things. And Sid is great people. So reach out to Sid. He's always been very kind. Anytime I've reached out, he's like, yeah, I got time. I called you this week and said, you want to do a podcast? He's like, I'm in. Absolutely. So appreciate you being on, man.
Well, I appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely.
And it's been awesome. So
Yeah. Guys, thank you again for all that you do. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys listening in. Go like, subscribe. Thank you to Adam, our producer back there, doing a great job. Usually the camera adds 10 pounds. When Adam works for you, it actually takes it off. That's how good he is. I don't know why I said that, but here we are. Thank you guys. Have a great day. If we can do anything, please comment, reach out, leave us your questions, all that stuff.